train your Gavin. Read those books in a blink, oh yeah. Grab yourself a hot drink cause you're watching How to Train Your Gavin.
Yep, that's me.
Hey guys, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. Today I want to tell you about the upcoming middle grade releases that I am personally excited for in the months of April, May and June 2020. So this video will not include anything that is released after June 2020, so please don't ask me where Hollowpox is on this list. I'm doing these videos in 3-month segments because there's so much that I am excited for that it would just be too much to put into just one video. So I did my January, February and March most anticipated middle grade releases and I uploaded that in December, so you can expect these kind of videos about 1 month before the next sort of quarter. Of course there will be middle grade books that I will have missed that maybe has kind of went under the radar and I just haven't seen it, so please let me know in the comments below if there is anything that comes out between April, May and June that you are excited for that I probably missed on this list. I've tried so hard to make sure that I have kept up to date with a lot of different publishers and to see what is coming out, but a few of these are kind of sequels and things that I'm excited to try out, maybe from a series that I haven't tried yet. So I'm really excited to get into it. I will actually get straight into it because yeah, I've got quite a few piles here of books that I need to talk about. And when I say piles of books, I don't mean that I have arcs for all of these. I have arcs for some of them, so publishers, if you are watching. I must also note that these are pretty much UK releases. I don't really know that much about American middle grade books that are coming out, so if you have a kind of good resource for me to use to keep up with American releases, then that would be perfect. Please let me know. I will also be giving you the UK release dates as well, so please do check these books out, and if you do live in another country, they will be available on Book Depository. Okay, so the first anticipated book is Starfell, Willow and the Forgotten Tale by Dominique Valente. This is the second book in the Starfell series, and this comes out on April 2nd. Now you're probably wondering, but you have a finished copy right there in front of you, and it's signed by the author, which is pretty awesome. I believe there were 1,000 of these released early. They're all signed, I believe, but there are also 100 limited edition ones that have this help sign in it, and it's part of the story. It is from a character in this book, and if you have one of these books that has that leaf with help in, tag Dominique Valente on Twitter because she is doing a sort of raffle and she will pick out your name from it and you will be named in the next book. I believe that's what it is. Like, so you'll have a character named after you if you get one of these help books. So yes, this is the sequel to Willow and the Lost Day, which I read recently and I really enjoyed. It's about Willow, who is the youngest and the least powerful of her sisters because they are witches and she can find lost things. In the second book, I believe that her friend can see 10 minutes into the future, and that's only enough time for him to realise that he's going to be kidnapped, so he leaves Willow a note and she has to find him because she has the power to find lost things. Except in this book, I also believe that things are going awry, her powers aren't exactly working all that well. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one and I'm quite excited to have a finished copy of it already. I think you can get this in stores now, but the official release date for this is April 2nd. Also out on April 2nd is The House of Hidden Wonders by Sharon Gosling. This is set in Edinburgh in 1879 and this follows Jenni, and she has a few sisters and they live in the tunnels underneath Edinburgh's Old Town, and there's also a young Arthur Conan Doyle, who is of course the writer of Sherlock Holmes, in this as well, and there's this kind of mystery involving a ghost in a House of Hidden Wonders, I imagine. So thank you Little Tiger for sending me a finished copy of this. I absolutely love it. I love the cover. Oh, it just looks so good. I cannot wait to read it. It's set in Edinburgh, y'all, and some of the best middle grades are set in Edinburgh, let's be honest. Also out on April 2nd is The Cutthroat Café by Nicki Thornton. This is the third book in the Seth Seppi mysteries. So the first book is The Last Chance Hotel, the second book is The Bad Luck Lighthouse, and it follows a wizard who he has a token black cat called Nightshade and they solve mysteries. So in the first one, it is set in the hotel he works at. He is the cook there and he is treated very poorly but a convention of wizards comes to the hotel and one of them mysteriously dies during dinner and he's sort of to blame, so he has to try and clear his own name. But yeah, it's kind of sets off apparently this sort of middle grade mystery series now, so we have some really cool locations for these mysteries. I really love the kind of settings for these because, I mean, lighthouse in the second one, hotel in the first one, and now a cafe for the third one. So apparently the third one follows Seth and Nightshade as they move to this different town because they're seeking an apprenticeship, and unfortunately a lot of different apprentices are dying and it's up to Seth to find out what's going on. So I'm loving the way the series is going, I'm loving the different locales, and it's such a fun time, and I'm loving my mysteries. So it's pretty cool that the third book is coming out. I'm not sure about future ones. I don't know if there's going to be a full like series of this or if it's just going to be a trilogy, so I'm just looking forward to seeing what will happen next. I do also want to mention that the Inkheart trilogy by Cornelia Funke has been re-released in the UK with these gorgeous new covers on April 2nd as well. They're not new middle grade releases and I've never read them before, so they will be new to me, but I'm just really excited for these brand new covered releases because I wanted to try them for the longest time, but I think now, because I'm so shallow, that with these new book cover releases, I'm definitely going to pick them up. So there is Inkheart, Inkspell, and Inkdeath. But I believe this is about a young girl called Maggie, and her father can kind of bring stories to life when he reads them out loud. It just sounds like something I would totally enjoy and totally love. It sounds so magical and wonderful. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about that because these books are older, but I'm just really excited for these re-releases. The next book is an American release, and that is Shah and the Tree of Wishes by Roshani Chokshi, and that is the third book in the Pandava Quintet trilogy. No, what? It's not a trilogy if it's a quintet. It's the third book in the Pandava Quintet. I haven't actually read the Shah books just yet, but I do have the first two books, Shah and the End of Time and Shah and the Song of Death. So this does follow a young girl who has accidentally unleashed a sleeper demon, and the only way to restore the world is to find the 5 reincarnations of the Pandava brothers. I think this is part of like the Rick Riordan Presents series, and yeah, I've heard so many great things about this, so excited to get into it. But Shah and the Tree of Wishes is the third book, comes out on April 7th in America, and I believe it comes out in September in the UK, so I don't know if I'll be able to wait that long when I finally get to read in the first two. The next book comes out on April 30th, and that is The Umbrella Mouse to the Rescue by Anna Fargher? I am so sorry if I butchered your name. Please correct me if I got it wrong, which I most likely did. But this is the sequel to The Umbrella Mouse, and this one came out last year. I read it for my owls, I think. So this one is set during World War II, and it follows a young mouse called Pip who loses her family during a raid on London, and she has to sort of travel to Italy to find the rest of her family, but she kind of course, I mean, she's a mouse, she kind of runs into trouble on the way there, and all she has left is this umbrella. Quite a fun little adventure. It touched on a lot of hard-hitting issues as well. So I believe this will most likely continue Pip's story in finding the rest of her family. It comes out April 30th, and I will of course put the image of the final cover on the screen now as well so you can see what it looks like. On the same day we have The StrangeWorlds Travel Agency by L.D. Lapinski, and I recently just read this and absolutely loved it. And it follows a young girl called Flick who stumbles across this weird sort of looking travel agency. She goes inside and she sees this loads of suitcases on the walls and things, and she ends up finding out that if you step into one of these suitcases it transports you to another world. And this is like the start of a brilliant new adventure series, so there's so many possibilities of what Flick does when she jumps through different kind of suitcases. But this one is predominantly about the City of Five Lights, which is a sort of hub world, and the streets are starting to disappear and there is some kind of trouble brewing. So it's up to Flick and her companion Jonathan to find out what is going on. So if you love yourself an adventure story, this will be perfect for you. I will also put the final cover here as well. It looks absolutely beautiful, the cover, by the way. I cannot wait to get the finished copy of this. And yeah, it comes out on April 30th. Also on April 30th is The Vanishing Trick by Jenni Spangler, and this one, I've heard so many great things about it, and that is why I requested this one, and I cannot wait to read it. So there is a woman called Madame Pinchbeck, and she kind kind of summons the spirits of dead loved ones for a price, but it's kind of smoke and mirrors, but there's real magic behind it as well, because she kind of kidnaps children and she traps them into these objects and she can summon them and make them vanish at will. So when she does this to an orphan called Leander, it sets into motion Leander's desperate escape. So this is a historical adventure with, you know, magic, and it's one of my favourite genres anyway, and any book that has to do with magic, I will pounce on it. So the Vanishing Trick looks so cool, and final cover as well for you, and yeah, April 30th on that one. On May 7th, which happens to be my birthday, we have the sequel to Malamander coming out called Gargantis by Thomas Taylor. I will put the final cover on here for you as well. And this one does continue the adventures of Herbert Lemon and Violet Palmer, and they live in a sort of seaside village called Erie-on-Sea. And in the first book there was a sort of mythical creature called the Malamander that we didn't know if it truly existed or not. So I think Gargantis will continue the adventures of Herbert and Violet, and I don't really know anything else about it, to be honest. I kind of like that in a sequel, though I don't really want to know too much. It is very hard to tell you what the sequel is about if you haven't read the first one, but I really loved the first Malamander, and yeah, I'm so excited for this one too. Like I'm saying about every single book on this list. Then we have The Midnight Howl by Benjamin Reed and Laura Trinder, which is the sequel to The Midnight Hour, and I also have the American version of it because it's just come out in America, I believe it has. And in the first sort of Midnight Hour book, Emily's parents have vanished and they are trapped in time in this Victorian London setting, which is roaming with monsters. And in The Midnight Howl, I believe there's magic leaking from that world or something like that. So again, I'm not really selling it that well, I'm sorry. So yeah, if you sort of love kind of the children's books that take you back in time, so I would recommend reading The Midnight Hour before you read The Midnight Howl, of course. But The Midnight Hour is relatively short, so it's very quick and easy to get through. So yeah, it'll be good to have this sort of duology, but I don't know if there will be more in the series. And yeah, it also comes out on my birthday on May 7th. Also out on my birthday is Another Twist in the Tale by Catherine Bruton, who wrote the No Ballet Shows in Syria book. This one has only just recently, and I mean like in the past few days, propped up on my radar, and Another Twist in the Tale is sort of like an unofficial sequel to Oliver Twist. And this one actually follows Twill Twist, who I believe is Oliver's unspoken sister, and this follows her journey in Victorian London. And I believe we also have the Artful Dodger, Fagin and Oliver Twist in this book as well, and I love the story of Oliver Twist. I grew up on the musical version of it, and yeah, I don't think I've actually read the Charles Dickens original before. Maybe I should get on that. But I think it'll be really fun to read, and I can't wait that it's coming out on my birthday. It's almost like a birthday treat for me, and I think that's the last book that comes out on my birthday that I'm excited for. Yeah, it is. The next book comes out on May 14th, and that is Jungle Drop by Abby Elphinstone, which is the sequel to Rumblestar. And Rumblestar and Jungle Drop are part of the Unmapped Chronicles series. I loved Rumblestar so much. I thought this surpassed Roald Dahl-esque imagination. It was so adventurous. It follows a young boy who finds himself in the unmapped kingdoms, specifically Rumblestar, and he meets a young girl called Utterly, and this is just like utterly such a good time. Sorry, that was a bad joke. I adored it so much, and I'm so excited to go back into this world because there's just so many possibilities with this world. There's so many different areas, and it's just so imaginative and so wonderful. So Jungle Drop is the sequel to this, and thank you so much for sending a proof copy of this for me as well, Simon & Schuster. Oh, love you guys. I'll put the official cover on the screen there because this cover's a little shiny and it's kind of glaring and stuff. So this is the final cover for Jungle Drop. Jungle Drop will be released in America on the 4th of August and under the name of the Bickery Twins and the Phoenix Tier. So Americans don't have to wait that long for this one, which is fantastic. I'll have to buy that copy as well because I do have the Unmapped Chronicles, Casper Talk and the Everdark Wings, the American release of Rumblestar, so, you know, just for my collection purposes, you know, so they match and things. But I'm really excited to read the second book because it promises to be such a great adventure still, and Jungle Drop, even the name, I just can't wait, okay? But May 14th for that one. Also on May 14th is The Unadoptables by Hannah Took. I am so excited to read this one again, but like, I'm definitely going to be reading this one very, very soon, during the autumn of 1886. So this is another sort of like historical one. 5 babies were left in an orphanage under totally bizarre circumstances, and years later, as they've grown up a bit, they are 5 of the best of friends, and this sinister gentleman comes to the orphanage and threatens to tear them apart. So it leads to this kind of adventure story. Again, adventure, it's my favorite kind of subgenre of fantasy, and it just sounds so good. Here's the final cover. I've heard so many fantastic things about it so far as well, and I just can't wait to get the finished copy of this as well. I know I always ask for ARCs, and I love getting ARCs and stuff, but I always buy the finished product as well to support the author for my collection. You know, it's what I do. So it's not like I'm asking for free books, okay? I will be buying the finished product too. But yes, this one is also May 14th. The next one is also a re-release, and that is The Tower at the End of the World by Brad Strickland and John Bellairs, and it's the 9th book in the Lois Barneveld series.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
I didn't say anything. Piccadilly Press have been re-releasing the House with a Clock on its Walls series, I like to call it as well, because that's what people know it by. And with these beautiful new covers, ever since the movie came out, which I love the movie as well, but I've been getting all of this series. They're really fun books, really short books as well. There is 12 books in the series, I think, so there will still be 3 more after this one. But even just look how beautiful they match as well. Like, oh, I love a series that matches all the way through, and I believe they are committing to the entire series, even though the 12 Lois Barneveld books came out at such different times. We had Brad Strickland come in to take over from John Bellairs, who was the original author, but he died during the writing of the series, and he only really wrote 3 of them out of the 12. So yeah, we still have another 3 to come, and I'm really excited to finish the series off. But the Lois Barneveld series does follow a young boy who lives with his uncle, and his uncle is a wizard, and his neighbour is a witch, and it's just like, it follows his magical adventures pretty much, and his best friend Rosevita. So yeah. Oh, okay guys, this next one I am literally so excited for, right, the most excited for, and that is Wonderscape by Jennifer Bell. Look at that cover. Again, I'm sorry, I'm so shallow, but look at that cover. It is absolutely gorgeous, and how fantastical and magical and adventurous does it make this book look. And even the premise of this book, it's described as Jumanji meets Ready Player One, and I am Ready Reader One for this. Oh god, I'm so good. I'm so good. Okay, so it's gaming and time travel collide in this book. So it follows 3 13-year-old characters who are called Arthur, Ren, and Cecily. And they are on their way to school. There is this explosion, and they find themselves on this pirate ship in this epic in-reality adventure game. And they have a race against time to try and get out of it. Oh, it just sounds so good. I am so excited for this one. Like, oh my god, it just sounds so good. You know when you have this like automatic feeling about a book? Like, I had the same kind of feeling with Frostheart last year before that came out, and with this one I see it and I hear about what it's about, and I'm already like, oh, I need it in my life, like, right now. So yeah, that's Wonderscape, and that comes out on June 4th. Praying it's going to be a book of the month. On June 11th, we have Return to Raw by Jenni McLachlan, and that is the sequel to The Land of Raw by Jenni McLachlan. Why am I saying her name twice? The Land of Raw, again, it's a kind of like a Jumanji-esque kind of world where we have 2 siblings who travel into this kind of folding bed, and it opens up to the Land of Raw, which is an imaginary world that they made up as children, but it doesn't seem so imaginary after all. And they go into Raw to try and save their grandfather, and Raw is filled with like mermaids and dragons, and it's like this very adventurous world. So Return to Raw will come out on June 11th. It is a sequel to this one. So excited to dive into this one. It sounds so good. And you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion, 'cause I am a champion. And you're gonna hear me roar. Also, I love how the cover really matches the first book as well. Oh, I'm a sucker for covers. I won't really say what the sequel is about, because I would definitely recommend reading the first book first, but I am so excited to read this one. So I do have more books from July onwards that I am so excited about, but that will wait for another video. And that is the end of this one. Please let me know if you are excited about any of these, if you have got any other suggestions of books that are coming out in April, May or June that maybe I've missed, please let me know in the comments. I'm always on the lookout for exciting new middle grades. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a little like if you did and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!